PERT CPM model for project management. Okay, let's begin from here. What is PERT? It's program evaluation and review technique. The T stands for technique. Okay, and CPM is an abbreviation of critical path method. PERT and CPM have been widely used for a variety of projects, including the following type. 1. Construction a new plan. 2. Research and develop a new product. 3. NASA space exploration project. 4. Movie production. 5. Building a ship. 6. Government sponsored project for developing a new weapon system. 7. Relocation of a major facility. 8. Maintenance of a nuclear reactor. 9. Installation of a nuclear reactor. 10. Conducting an advertising campaign. As you can see, this is all very big what? Operations. Okay? It consists of many detailed procedures. So require a good coordination. And that's why this is used what? PERT and CPM. This skill is developed during what? During the Second World War. Okay? Now, after the Second World War, people consolidate the method and come out with a very mature what? PERT and CPM models to do project management. So let's begin with project network. Okay? Project network. I'm going to switch to what? I'm going to switch to a different screen. Okay? Um, the PERT CPM method, project network. First, introduce you activity on node project network, AON project network. And AOA project network. Okay? Let's first introduce you some elementary definition, paths of a project network. What is the path of a project network? It's a path through a project network is one of the route following the arrow. You say arcs from the start node to finish node. Okay? The length of a path is the sum of the estimated duration of activity on the path. Just read the definition can be very dry and unclear. So let me give you a concrete network. Okay? Let's look at a concrete network. Christine Phillips is in charge of a planning and coordination of next spring sales management training program for her company. Christine has listed the following activities information for this project. Okay? Okay? Christine Phillips is in charge of planning and coordination next spring sales management training program for her company. Christine has listed the following activity information for this project. Okay, and as you can see, there are five what? Five activities: A, B, C, D, E. Okay, and A represents select location. B means obtain speakers. And C, make speaker traveling plans. Now, as you can see, Christine cannot make speaker travel plans, which is activity C. Before he before she select what? Locations and obtain speakers. So activity C can only start it after what? After activity A and B have been done. Okay? So you cannot start C until both A, B are completed. Okay? So among different activity in the project network, some activity need to complete it first. Then we can start the following what? Activity. In this case, we say C is a immediate what? Immediate successor, okay? And A and B are immediate predecessor. That means A, B need to complete it first. Then we can begin what? Then we can begin C. Okay? And as you can see in the last column, how long activity A takes? Take 2 weeks. How long activity B takes? Take what? 3 weeks. So A take 2 weeks, B take 3 weeks. Okay? So the earliest one C can begin. Okay? Think about the question. What is the earliest time we can begin C? Is end of week 2 or end of week 3? Think about it. I'm going to ask people. Okay? Very good. Very good. Yeah. Frank, good job. Okay? Good job. You don't say it, but you show me on the screen. So in this case, we cannot begin C till both A, B completed. So if you begin, although at the end of week 2, A is completed, but B hasn't completed yet. So we need to wait until B also completed. So the earliest time we can start activity C is what? At the end of week 3. Now look at activity D. It's prepare and mail brochure. Okay? Intermediate predecessor is also what? After A and B. And the duration is what? Is 2 weeks. And E, take reservations. Take reservations. So this is something right after D is completed. Okay? So D is E's what? D is E's immediate predecessor. And E is D's what? Immediate successor. Okay? After you read the example, so let's draw some picture to memorize this complicated information. Okay? Follow the example we just introduced you. Okay? In drawing what? The project network. There is a star node. There is a star node. And it links directly to A and B. Remember what's A? A is select location. B is obtain speaker. B is obtain speaker. Because both A and B in the provide table, they don't have immediate predecessor. So these two can be considered as what? The first two activity in the project network. Okay. Now, activity put inside the circle, which we call the node. That's why this kind of project network is what? It's called AON. Activity on what? Node. This is node. I put activity A inside the node. That's called activity on node what? Project network. Okay? And we use arc to show the precedence. Okay? Now, C cannot be begin. What is C? C is make speaker what? Traveling plane. Okay? So make speaker travel plane cannot be started until you find what? Until you find location and obtain speaker. Okay? So we use what? The arc to show the precedence relationship. A is before C, B is before C. Same thing. D is what? D is prepare and mail brochure. It's also after A and B. So D is right after B, and D is also right after A. Okay? Now, E take reservations. E take reservations is right after what? Right after D. And we know from the provide information, there are no successor for C and no successor for E. So you can treat these two as the last two activity in the project network. And they link to what? They link to the finish node. Okay, they link to finish node. This is so-called the AON project network. Okay. Okay, after the AON activity on what? On node project network. Now let's look at the next one. Okay, we call AOA project network. This is called activity on arc project network. Earlier, we use what? Node to represent activity. Now we use arc. Okay? So how are we going to do it? I'm going to show you now for the same example. This is start. Remember now, activity now is represented by arc. A, B. Okay? A, B. Now, put a note, end of what? End of activity. End of activity is called what? Huh? It's called an event. The beginning or the end of activity is called what? Is called an event. And big event. Big events are called milestone. Okay, so this is AOA project network. Okay, activity A represented by arc. At the end, this is what? This is an event. And star is a big event. So star going to be what? The milestone. Okay? Now, A and B. In this AOM project network, we know we cannot begin C until both A, B are completed. So if I place C here, then it only says what? It only says C is right after A. We don't know C need to be also what? After B. So how can we fix the problem? Think about it. The way we fix the problem is we create what? We create dummy event. Dummy event is created to preserve what? The precedence relationship. So when you look at the picture, C is after A. Because we create a dummy event here, so we know C is also after what? Also after B. And then how about D? D follow the same thing. So I'm gonna put D this way. Okay, we're gonna put D this way. Okay? And then E is right after D. This is E. And we know C and E are the last two activity in the project network. So this is going to be finished. So this is called an AOA project network. Okay? From start to finish. A path from start, go to A, and then go to C, and go to finish. This is called what? A path. A from start to A to C to finish. This is called what? A path in the project network. From start to A to C to finish. Same thing. From start to B to C to finish. Okay, this is another path. Same thing. If you look at the AOM project network, start to A to C to finish. This is what? It's called what? A path. Okay? So what's the duration of the path? From the information we just given. Activity A lasts for what? Lasts for 2 weeks. Activity C lasts for 2 weeks. So the duration of this path is 4 weeks. Okay? So if I put down all the paths in the project network, okay? If I put down all paths in the project network, how many paths I have? I have AC to what? Finish, okay? Which is this one. And I have ADE to finish. So how long is this one? A is 2 weeks. C is 2 weeks. D is what? D is 2 weeks. How about E? E is 3 weeks. So from A to D to E, altogether, this is 7 weeks. Okay? Duration is 7 weeks. and the other path from B to C to finish. Okay? How long is the duration? B is what? B is 3 weeks. C is what? C is 2 weeks. So duration of BC path is 5 weeks. And then we have one more, okay? We have from start to B to D to E to finish, okay? From start to B to D to E, okay? B is 3 weeks. D is 2 weeks. E is 3 weeks. So they add up to what? 8 weeks. So let's look at all 4 passes. A to C, 4 weeks. ADE, 7 weeks. BC, 5 weeks. BDE, 8 weeks. This is the longest one. And the longest pass in the project network is called what? Is defined to be the critical path. Okay? The longest path in the project network, we call it what? The critical path.